It sucks that we still even we can play songs like that. I'm so tired. Your season's been such a disaster that they have just traded T.J. Hawkinson. And there's rumors they may not be done, that Jeff Okudah could be on his way out in the next hour. So, I don't know, man. We're talking about it. We're, Rico and I have slightly different viewpoints. We're listening to you guys, some of you venting, some of you, how do I choose my words carefully here, bizarrely on board with this or positive. I guess my question is, at what point are you going to say enough? I mean, you traded the face of the franchise a year and a half ago, and we were told it was a teardown. We were told we couldn't expect anything last year, and we didn't, and we endured it together, and they won 3 football games. This year, there was an expectation they were going to be markedly better. Did that mean 7 wins, 8 wins? It meant better. And they made additions, right? Had this big draft. Year 2 of Campbell. Year 2 of the system. Okay. The season's been such a disaster. You just traded one of your 3 best offensive weapons, who's 25 years old, who you have control over for, at a minimum, all of next year. So I've argued, okay, if you want to play it this way, you're telling me it's been such a disaster, fire Dan Campbell at the end of the year. Be done with this. New coach, new quarterback, new future. But Rico's taking it a different direction. Not that he supports it. But, Rico, you're telling the people what your mind reality is.
Yeah, I think that this is unfortunately, Campbell gets the reset button hit. He's now 0-0. We're going to take away all your toys, Dan, but we're going to get you new toys this upcoming draft, and we'll let you start fresh, and you'll get a quarterback, and we're going to act like these last, year and a half didn't exist. So, yeah, I think that's where it's going. Either that or you have to fire him, because here's what I do not want to see. I don't want to see Dan Campbell get retained, and then he helps and confers with Brad Holmes. They go into the draft. They draft some people. You fire him next Thanksgiving. And now the next coach is saddled with people he doesn't necessarily want or would have drafted, because you keep setting yourself back. It's wash, rinse, repeat. At some point, you got to break the cycle. I don't think nothing in Lions history says they're going to get rid of Dan Campbell after 2 years or less. Nothing, Mike. This isn't the type of organization that does that type of thing.
The Jags have just traded. This is an interesting one. The Jags have just traded for Calvin Ridley.
Well, the Dolphins just traded for Jeff Wilson.
And Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
Bears have traded for Chase Claypool. What are the Bears doing exactly?
Well, David and I talked about this. It looks a little passive-aggressive, but I just think they realized we want to bring in people, but Roquan doesn't want to be here. So there's no way we're going to satisfy him. We got rid of his confidant. He cries at the podium. That kind of told you, yeah, it may be best for both parties to just split. But I think what they are saying is maybe we haven't been fair to our young quarterback. What if we start putting pieces around him a la what the Eagles have done, and maybe you got something here.
Wild. 248-539-9797. Unless I missed anything, Rico, whoever's held the longest, you've got the time check. I don't. Go ahead.
All right, let's go to Johnny. What's happening?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What's up, Johnny?
This is so rough. So rough. Because I see it as one clear picture. If we knew what we were doing from the beginning, we would have done these moves last year. And
right.
The fact that we're doing it now, everybody should be severely concerned about the direction of this organization, because it really doesn't make any sense. And we didn't get enough for T.J. Hawkinson in this deal. I wouldn't have cared about Hawkinson. I don't personally think the offense is going to look that much different without him. I know he may be their third best skilled player, but I could just see it, the way we run the offense and how we didn't utilize him as much as we could have. It's not going to look that much different. But to get this compensation at this point in the season, and if we do trade Jeff Okudah, then just sell your tickets and move on with your life for at least 5 years, because I don't know what we're doing. He
See,
actually is somewhat of a bright spot.
I think you said it best. I think you said it best. If it was a complete teardown, the way they're selling it, you make these moves last year. The offseason that you traded Stafford, you take it to the studs. This, I agree with you totally.
Absolutely. And I was even last year saying trade Taylor Decker. Not saying it would have been like I know he's great. I have no problem with him, but that would have been a good year to get rid of him, because now we could have Panay at the left tackle. We could have maybe even drafted another off. There's a million things we could have done, but the timing of this just makes me certain.
Well, I got to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something
doing.
that was very concerning, and I appreciate the call. It is getting to a point with a guy like Taylor Decker. Did you catch his comment after the game, Rico?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
Basically just saying, I'm exhausted. It's exhausting. Being here, losing, it's exhausting. You do get to a point with some of your veterans where the losing has gotten to them and it becomes a real problem. See, this is why I implore Lions fans, do not give this organization any more time. Because if you truly are doing a teardown of the rebuild thingy, let me tell you what happens next. Any guy on this team with 4 or 5 years in the league is going to want out. And that would include guys like Ragnow and Decker. Be very careful giving these people more time. Because when you start to hear veteran leaders on your team talk about how the losing is exhausting, you're talking about people being almost broken. So you think now you're going to go and end up 2-15, 3-14 the rest of this year, and then you're going to be bad again next year. Guys, I got to tell you, it's a never-ending typhoon. It has to stop. You have to win.
It is. You're not going to like this, man. But you just gave yourself an excuse why you can't win for the next couple years.
Let's go to the people, Rico. I just had to bring it up because it gets me thinking about what the other guys in the room, like if I'm Taylor Decker, I got a finite career. I'm out there giving my body up every week. And you just traded T.J. Hawkinson. I'm sitting here in another 12, 13, 14 loss year. What stops Taylor Decker from going to management in the offseason and going, guys, it's been real. Get me out of here.
Nothing.
Be very careful with what you do.
Nothing. Because I think that's what happened with Roquan Smith with the Bears. He just wanted out. I see.
Right. So my point is, how do you end up ahead, Rico?
You end up ahead, Mike, when you show players you have a plan. When you show players this is what we're going to do, this is what it's going to look like this year, this is going to look like next year and the following year. And really good teams can sell that. The Lions can't.
We can't.
Right. Because we don't know who the quarterback's going to be in 2 years.
Right. Here's our plan. Bleep ourselves.
All right.
That's honestly. What are you selling?
But that's just it. You can't. Who's the quarterback going to be? That's a great question. And I'm going to get back with you. I'm going to circle back,
right.
and we'll let you know.
Really appreciate that question.
Yeah.
Let me think about it.
I'll pass it on to the guys.
I'll pass it on to the guys. See, questions like
where's
this.
Kenny, I'll pass it along to the fellas.
Oh, by the way, Kenny's upset with you. He wants in on the Zoom, and you left him in the waiting room.
He's in. He's
okay.
in. He's got a beautiful bar background. He looks great.
Okay.
No, we're all good. I didn't realize it.
So, but yeah, that you can't. And that's the problem. And if I asked you this question 5 years ago, you would have said the same thing. If I'd asked you 10 years ago, you would have said the same thing.
So my point is, if I'm a veteran on this team or I'm anyone remotely accomplished, I'm getting out of here.
All right.
So be careful. You want to do this teardown again? I want out.
I mean, especially when you see guys leave here like Darius Slay and he sucks. He actually's gotten better. So, yeah, it happens. All right. You want to take a phone call?
Hell yeah.
Dan, my man, what's happening?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Biggest challenge I got, Hawkinson, it isn't even about Hawkinson. And this is the classic Lions smoke and mirrors. It's not even about Hawkinson. It's about what you got for him, and you got nothing. Like, really, you're just shifting cards, right?
No, I mean, yeah, kind of. You're just swapping picks. So, yeah.
So, but the real thing I wanted to bring up was that where Campbell, though you're talking about the 2 years, I'm with Mike on getting rid of him now. And the reason I say that is when Anthony Lynn struggled on the offense, Campbell pushed him to the side and took over. Then why isn't he doing the same with Aaron Glenn? Like this Aubrey Pleasant thing, I bet you Aubrey Pleasant caught wind that they might be doing something with the secondary. And he's like, guys, you're killing me here. And so he was this sacrificial lamb so that Campbell could protect Glenn. And where Campbell will hurt himself going forward is if he doesn't treat Aaron Glenn the way he's treated other coaching staff members that haven't performed. So you may discuss, he might have bought himself 2 years with this, but if he goes into the offseason and Aaron Glenn's his guy, I don't know how you could keep him. I don't honestly know how you could say Dan Campbell's our man. But that's my point.
No.
And by the way, I'm not making fun of anybody here, but guys, this isn't 1985. You are not going to have Dan Campbell off of 2 horrific years, barring a miracle this year. Let's say they win 3 games total. 6-27-1 into year 2. And you think he's coming back for year 3. Okay, fine. You're not going to be any good next year. There is no way he's coming back for year 4. Anyone who's selling that Dan Campbell's getting 2 more years because of this, I think you're crazy. Or Sheila Ford Hamp is more clueless than her father. Those are the only 2 scenarios.
Yeah.
No, don't slow play me. You know what I'm saying. It's
right.
Not possible.
But it is. It is, Mike. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
But she's different.
Well, she did get rid of the last name. She just goes by Hamp now. But
I mean, you got to go back to like the late 80s with, what the hell was his name? Was it Marvin Campbell? The guy who coached Atlanta. I mean, the guy was
Dan
like
Campbell.
10 and... No. It was like Marvin or Marion Campbell, like late 80s. They kept this guy around. I think he was like 10 and 30. Those days are done. You can't do that.
yeah. No, you're right, but this is a different animal here, man. And I do think that if there are more players moved, if it's just TJ Hawkinson, okay, then it wasn't as bad as we thought. But if they move a few more players, Mike, we found out by a little after the 4 p.m. deadline, then yeah, this is where you got to sit in the room. And I don't think they're going to fire. I don't think they're going to fire Campbell. I can't see it happening. It would break. It would trust me. It would be a great move. It would break Lions tradition. It would be something new that you hopefully would get different results. But the way I see it now,
But think about this, Rico. Like Morningwig went 5-27 his first 2 years here. 5-27. How much north of that is Dan Campbell going to go? He currently sits at 4-19-1. How much north of that is he going?
And he's not going to go far, because if you really are bringing in a bunch of rookies and you're tearing this thing down, and you want to bring in a rookie quarterback, you're losing.
So basically you're telling me Dan Campbell's going to be Hugh Jackson, and you've got Sashi Brown running the franchise, and Dan's going to be able to go 3-40? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, where you may have it where Dan Campbell may finish his 3 years barely cracking double digits. If you want to put it that way, David, I see. Yes, you got your hand over your face, but yes, because that's why I said either you got to get rid of this guy now, or you're saying we're not going to count your first 2 years at all. You're going to start at 0-0 next year, and we're going to base it off of that, and we'll never speak upon it.